Hey everybody, it's Melissa, and I got some fragrances here that I'm going to be Hey everybody, it's Melissa. I got some fragrances here that I'm going to be doing unboxings of for the very first time. No. Hey everybody, it's Melissa, and today we're doing an unboxing video about the 3 fragrances I mentioned in my last video that I ordered. So I'll have the discount link for where I got them in the comment section below. It's going to be pinned. It's also going to be in the description box in case you want to check that out, compare prices, support the channel. But of course, buy where you're comfortable, all right? The fragrances we got here are Nuit de L'Homme Le Parfum. Get so many questions about this, and also Versace Eros Flame. And this is just kind of going to be an unboxing video, but a first impressions video, and I'll do individual reviews of these fragrances with how they wear on my skin with performance and stuff. And lastly, the one I'm most excited about is, this is a Versace private blend. So it's Atelier, Versace, Gingembre, Pétillant, I think, maybe, but it's in EDP concentration. I've never tried any Versace private blends before, so I'm excited. So let's start with Nuit de L'Homme Le Parfum. Y'all know how much I love the EDT. I actually wore it a couple days ago. I layered it with Tuxedo. I did 3 sprays of La Nuit, and no joke, maybe I just have a good bottle of it or something, but I could still smell that fragrance for like 7 hours. But I will say, after the first the first couple hours, it felt like it fell off. I could only smell Tuxedo, and then later on in the night, I was only really smelling that La Nuit de L'Homme. So that's just what I always say about going nose blind, y'all. It's a thing that happens, but that's not to discredit people that have bad bottles of La Nuit de L'Homme, because that's what it's known for. I'm just fortunate that I guess mine's not that bad. All right, here we go. Oh, it's so cute. It's so cute. I think I've only tried this on a test strip, if I'm mistaken. And same for Eros. So let's see if it makes any difference on skin smell-wise. Smells like your typical La Nuit de L'Homme. And for those that are new, this fragrance, or La Nuit de L'Homme EDT, was the scent that really got me into fragrances and it got me wanting to smell sexy all the time. So that fragrance is a reason why I started like TikTok and stuff and making reviews, because I was like, oh, this thing is so good. And it became my signature scent. I know this is gonna sound obvious. It smells like a stronger version of La Nuit de L'Homme. I mean, yeah, it's a parfum, but actually, yeah, just more intense. That's so obvious, but honestly, sometimes there are Le Parfum versions of fragrances that smell different than the original, and not in a more powerful way, but there's a different note in it, or with an intense that just kind of makes it smell like a different fragrance altogether. And that's why I was kind of shocked that it obviously smells like the regular La Nuit de L'Homme, but just a stronger version of it. So if you're somebody that complains about that sort of performance, or you feel like it's not giving you that much oomph, then maybe try going for the Le Parfum. But what I love about this DNA is the cardamom. So the fragrance has cardamom. I believe there's also some vetiver as well. I'm mainly talking about the original here, but I'm definitely catching the cardamom in this fragrance. And to me, I find that to be a pretty sexy note, smell-wise. I'm not saying that I like all fragrances with cardamom, because there are definitely some I do not rock with at all. But this fragrance is what made me go, oof. Yeah, it's like, it's not a gourmand, but it still will make you salivate because of how sexy it is. Does that kind of make sense? This thing is so good. This will always be like an OG in my collection. I don't think there will ever be a video that I say, oh, I hate La Nuit de L'Homme. You know, like where like it does a total 180 on me. Because it's just, I find this DNA to be, it's just like a timeless sort of smell to me, okay? I know this came out in 2008 or 2009, again, talking about the original, but I've had people ask me, hey, does it smell dated? Does it smell like too early 2000s? And I'm like, no. If anybody were to wear this in 2024, even in 2030, no one's gonna go, ooh, yeah, they're out of the trend. You know, well, some people might think that, but it's just a sexy masculine fragrance. Now, I gotta say, even though it is a more masculine scent, for those of you that really like masculine fragrances, it might be a little too sweet for that, where you might think it's a bit feminine. I have heard complaints from my followers about the Nuit de L'Homme and Tuxedo in particular, that they heard they were more masculine fragrances, but when they try them, they're like, this stuff is way too feminine. So just be cautious about that. It is a sweeter scent, like better suited for nighttime, but you could still wear this in the daytime. Like I've worn the regular La Nuit in the daytime, and even with this, it's just, I know I'm mainly talking about the EDT, but this to me smells like the EDT, just like a stronger version of it. So that's why I'm referencing the EDT so much. I would not have a problem at all wearing this as a daily fragrance. And honestly, I think for people that are just new and getting started and you want a masculine scent, yeah, like La Nuit de L'Homme is going to be a great one to have in your collection, just because you know that it'll be your fragrance that is just super sexy. It's intimate, it's not super loud, and it's all about personal preference with that. Because if you're somebody that wants to be noticed, then you're probably going to be bummed out with La Nuit de L'Homme, because it's better with one-on-one sort of conversations. So if you want to overspray this like crazy, you can, but sometimes it's like, you don't, if you're so desperate to be noticed, that's another thing altogether. But just like smelling sexy in your scent bubble is such a power move. It's great. So let me put this to the side while I unbox the other two fragrances. Let's give this Versace a shot right here. And Eros Flame is one that I've tried on skin once, or no, you know what? It was on somebody else, because my cousin had this fragrance and I was like, oh yeah, can I smell that? And he does this, right? So he takes his fragrance, he sprays it, and then like before I could even say just kind of like let it sit, he immediately goes like this. He's like this, and then he does that, and I'm like, nah, it doesn't smell that great. Like it was, I mean, you guys have heard me on my lives, I've been saying that the regular Eros to me smells better. And then the other time I tried Eros Flame, it was on a test strip, so it's just never been something to me that I thought was amazing. I think the Eros EDT is still better than the EDP and the Parfum. And that's an example right there that you would think, okay, Versace Eros Parfum is just a stronger version of it. To me, it smelled different, and I think the EDT was sexier. So here we go with Flame. EDP concentration, all right? In case I didn't show the visual of it, for those of you that want to see it. Oh, fresh. Oh man, that got way in there to a point where I need to sneeze. It's not coming. I thought I had it. Okay, definitely a louder fragrance than La Nuit de L'Homme Le Parfum. I think that this fragrance is I know I said it's more of like a date scent, but like to me, when I just smell these back to back, this is more of like a little bit more of a grown person's fragrance. Now you can obviously wear this as a teen, but to me this smells more teenager. It smells more like the fragrance you wear when, okay, all of a sudden you really want to be attractive to girls or to women, and so you want something that's like a loud, noticeable fragrance. Now, there's a pepperiness to this fragrance that, I mean, it's good. I mean, it's good. Apple vanilla, yeah. I mean, is it appley? It smells more citrusy than the original Eros. I think I still like the original Eros better, just first impression wise. But I will say the first type of person that comes to my mind with Eros Flame, somebody maybe in high school, somebody maybe in college, that you're really just, you want to amp up ways that you can be attractive, and you're like, okay, what should I get? You go to Sephora, you head right to the fragrance section, and you see Versace, you're like, oh, that bottle looks sick, and then you throw it on and you're like, oh my god, yeah, this is gonna be a good one. And then you go to a party and then you overspray it, and all of a sudden everybody there gets nauseated with your fragrance, and then people end up hating Versace Eros. And that honestly is a real thing that happened, and that's no hate to this scent, because I really believe that if people know how to apply it and they're tasteful about how they wear it, it could be a very sexy fragrance for your use. But I know so many people, and I've seen it when people ask me to, you know, rate their fragrances like in person, and I watch how they apply it, and they're just like, especially like, I mean, I know like, I've seen it more with the younger guys that have asked for my opinion on it. With the girls too, sometimes it's like, you know, they'll do some sprays. They'll overspray like the body mist and stuff, which I get it because it's a body mist. But like with EDPs and parfum concentrations of these fragrances, and like they're like, oh, like I do this and I do this, and I'm like, dude, you are gonna choke out the room. And whenever I talk to them, they're just like, yeah, because I want it to be something that when they pass by me, it's noticed, like where they could smell my fragrance and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, but even with that, they might notice it, but it might not be in a good way. And Eros Flame and the original Eros, Dior Sauvage, they've all fallen victim to that sort of situation where the people wearing it are desperate for that sort of attention, that it turns it in a negative way, even though it smells pretty decent. It smells pretty good. But because everyone around you is like, what the fuck? Who showered themselves in the fragrance? And then it just like, now when people smell that scent, even in a small way, they're like, oh, yeah, no, that reminds me of this time. And association is big when it comes to fragrances. If it's a negative association, it's going to be hard to shake how people feel about it, even if the smell is somewhat decent. But yeah, I mean, Eros Flame, it's okay. Like it truly, I think if you do want to get it, a Versace Eros EDT to me is still the best one. Even after the Slanger, I've heard about Eros Energy, never tried it before. I don't even think it's come out yet, but I've been hearing so much about it on my lives, asking opinions. I'm like, I don't know how I can give an opinion on something I've never tried, and I don't even know if it's released right now, you know? But yeah, there's like a pepperiness to this that's different, but it's okay. But that's who I recommend this to. I see this for, this kind of goes along the same lines of the people I'd recommend JPG and Paco Rabanne to. Just like youthful, you're trying to party, you want like a sexy nighttime fragrance and stuff. You can rock this as your signature scent if you like to as well, but be cautious of how it will project you. This, I promise you, you don't need to overspray Eros Flame. I know this is the first time that I applied it and that I saw it, but I could just tell with this DNA that you don't need to be doing 10 to 15 sprays of this. I promise you. I promise you, okay? So let me let this sit for a little bit, and then let me do one I'm super excited to try. I hope this has ginger in it. I don't know the notes to this fragrance, but when I saw it, I immediately was interested. I was like, ooh. I looked at the other Versace's that were on the website for it, because there was about 6 or maybe 5. But I was like, I don't really want those. Let me see what this is about, but we'll see. Ooh. Ooh. I'll let you guys see the packaging first before I even look at it. Look at that. That's clean. Big bowl. Oh, opens like that. What is it? Can't really see it. Ah, shoot. Like nailed my finger in there. That's pretty cool. Oh, it's a mirror. All right. Well, I don't know what you guys saw behind me. If there's other things there, but let's see what this bottle's about. It's nice, cool. Has the face on it right there. We're gonna go right here in the elbow. 3. Okay. Oh. This smells, I can't lie, within the first couple seconds, it kind of smelled a little bit Baccarat-y. A little bit Baccarat Rouge-esque. Very different from what I was expecting from this fragrance, just based on my assumption with the name of it. Am I mad at that quick Baccarat-y smell? No. I do know that it's pretty common now with how mainstream Baccarat Rouge has gotten, that this DNA, even with the dupes, a lot of people love smelling like this. I understand it. The closer you get to it, doesn't really smell like that. That's kind of crazy. Hold on. First thing that kind of came into my mind was just, it smelled a little bit like oud saffron-y, like a little bit Middle Eastern. A little bit. This is interesting. Hold on. Let me just... This fragrance, I can't put my finger on it. If I can't tell you right now if I hate it, or well, you know what, I don't hate it. I'm not gonna say I love it yet, but it's taking me in so many different directions right now. Smell Baccarat at first, right? But when I get closer to it, it doesn't really smell like that. It really has like a Middle Eastern kind of Arabian sort of vibe the closer you get to it. And for the niche heads, I think that's something that you'd rock with, but you probably wouldn't like the part that it did kind of smell Baccarat. This is my face when I'm thinking, because when's the ginger gonna go? I want some. Oh. You know what? All that aside, just right now, I'm thinking to myself, if I smelled this on somebody that I gave a hug to, I would be intrigued. That's how I feel about this fragrance right now. It's intriguing to smell. It's not a super typical scent like, you know, maybe a masculine Versace Eros or something like La Vie Belle by Lancome, right? Where like you smell it, you know that it's a fragrance and stuff. It's definitely something you hug somebody and you go, that's different. Like what are you wearing? That's interesting. That's nice, you know. And then as like right now, I'm smelling it right now, and now there's some sweetness to it. I kind of like where this is going, to be honest. I like the shock factor that it's adding right now. I gotta say, up close, it's not my favorite, right? In comparison to like how it's kind of smelling right now, because I smell it in my like my scent bubble right now, and it's good. Like it smells rich, it smells luxurious. You know, like this sort of DNA in the air is not something where you're like, it does not smell typical. And again, when I say typical about stuff, like I say in all my videos, I'm talking about like the lens of people in the real world, okay? Not about just on the internet. And it's getting better. Let me smell this one. Okay. Le Nuit Le Parfum. Is that getting incensey? Like smoky? That's not this. That can't be this. Yeah, no, these are two different scents. These are like, I was like, did some of this fragrance transfer over here? No. Hold on, I'm not really liking the Le Parfum right now. It's okay. I think the original La Nuit de L'Homme, even no matter when I smell it on my skin, it always is a hit. But this one, it's okay. It's all right. It's all right. This one, I'm really liking right now. And I don't know why. Because I don't know what notes are in this fragrance, but there's something that's drawing me to this scent. Really. I find this to be, honestly, a pretty unisex fragrance, maybe a little bit more feminine leaning just because of that sweet aspect to it. Not saying that there's masculine fragrances that can't be sweet, but that's the first thing that came to my mind. But I truly feel if you're somebody that typically wears more masculine fragrances and you throw this on, I don't think you would be disappointed with it. Okay? Like it's a likable fragrance, Middle Eastern touch, but it also has a likable sort of, like at least in the beginning, that Baccarat sort of sweetness, but there's still some of like this spice. I don't know if it's saffron. I'm not sure if there's a little bit of oud in this fragrance or not. That's why I get that Arabian sort of vibe from the scent. And now I'm getting a little bit of like a ginger. Now I'm getting it. This honestly, I would, if you're dressed up and you're wearing this fragrance, I think you're gonna smell fantastic. I think this is definitely something that when you're dressed up for a gala or a wedding and you go hug somebody and they would compliment you on this scent, they'll be like, oh wow, you smell good. Because again, not a typical fragrance, but still a likable scent at that. And also, I don't really hear people rave too much about the Atelier Versace, because I mean, I've never really heard of it. But But then again, I'm not really watching fragrance videos and stuff. But okay, go off. Yeah, let me check on Flame. Let's see what Flame's up to right here. Oh. I don't really like it up close. I don't really like Flame. I think that's what we've deduced from this video. Just at least on me right now, I just am not rocking with the fragrance, the smell wise. I think that knowing that I've tried the Eros EDT, it's just sexier. It smells sexier, and this one is just, now it's getting a bit, it's like a little orangey and peppery, and just, I could see this going in a bad direction if you've got some BO that you didn't clean up and you try to throw this on to disguise it. Is going to make it worse. You're going to be smelling like ass if you throw this on there and it's mixing with your BO. I mean, that's a given for any fragrance that you throw on, but with that, it's already a recipe for disaster with just kind of how underlying it's smelling right now up close. Yeah. This one is my favorite. This one is like, I can't wait to look up what the notes of this fragrance are, truly. I like this one. This is number 1. Le Parfum is number 2. Eros Flame is number 3. Okay, again, y'all, I'll put the link for all these fragrances in the description box in the comment section below. If you've ever tried any of these, let everybody know in the comment section. I say that, real quick, this fragrance smells a little bit more like 20s and up, like mid-20s and up. And Versace Eros Flame, I see more as a teenager fragrance, maybe early 20s, but I mean, that's not to say that if you're older, you can't wear it, because of course you can. With Nuit, Le Parfum, I do see this as also kind of like a 20s and up sort of fragrance. If you do wear it as a teen, awesome, but right now, I still think I'd recommend the EDT. Just getting a bigger bottle of the EDT and overspraying that. Like, it's good, but actually, yeah, it's good. It's good. It's okay. It's all right. All right. Anyways, hope you guys have a good one. See you in the next video. Take care. Bye.